Hi Angels, today I want to talk about how I cultivated self-love after 25 years of extreme trauma that gave me borderline personality disorder and PTSD. I carried such deep shame and self-hatred towards myself because I was an extremely socially anxious and shy person. That was just my biggest insecurity growing up. But on top of that, everyone in my life was extremely mean to me. My mom was unloving. My peers in school always bullied and ostracized me. I would often eat lunch in the teacher's room and just hide so I didn't have to be around people. My people wounds are extremely severe even till today. Like recently I had a major breakthrough in regards to my people wound, which I'll be sharing, so follow along for that. Even my friend in college was like, I don't know why everyone hates you. Everyone was so mean to me, literally. And on top of that, that is actually the reason why my therapist suggested that I seek a shamanic healer. Because she said everyone is just so mean to you initially, every single person. So I think there's something in your auric field that needs to be cleared. And boy, was she intuitively correct, because there's few entities in my auric field and a curse between me and my mom that the shaman cleared. And after that one $200 session alone, my life changed. Back to the story of how I rebuilt my self-love. So when you are a trauma survivor, you blame yourself for the way your parents treat you, the way they didn't love you. You all internalize it as the reason that you're being treated this way is because you're unworthy, that you're unlovable, that you're just a bad person who doesn't deserve love or acceptance, right? I always blamed myself for the way people were mean to me, and I also really hated my social anxiety and extreme shyness. I was just never comfortable around people, and people would just bring it up to me, call me awkward and shy. So I really hated myself for that too. Trauma makes us judge ourselves for things that are not our fault. And because people were so mean to me, I just had no self-worth. I felt like I had no value. There was no reason to love or accept me. And I deeply hated myself because everyone was so mean to me, always talked shit about me in school, ever since elementary school all the way up to college. My self-love journey and the way I healed and rebuilt my self-love is from first knowing that you do not have to stay defined by your painful past. Self-love also comes from releasing the shame and self-blame for people treating you badly. Obviously, doing the shadow work allowed me to understand and realize that the way people treated me is merely a reflection of their own inner world and wounds and projections. So the emotional neglect, the emotional abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse by my mom was a result of her own unhealed wounds, and I realized that people bullying me was not my fault. They happened because of what was in my auric field, and they happened because of people's wounds and insecurities and projections. By the way, I just wanted to touch up on why I say that people were mean to me because something was in my auric field. What I learned is that we all have a vibrational signature, and when other negative entities are in your field, that changes the vibrational signature of your auric field. So instead of my original frequency template and my core frequency, all these negative things were also in my auric field, so it made my vibration lower. And people responded to that negative energy by treating me negatively and meanly, and that's why every single person was mean to me. That healing session allowed me to realize that it was not my fault. There's just these spiritual reasons why people were treating me badly as well. All of this helped me realize that I shouldn't blame myself or see myself as unworthy or unlovable because of these painful experiences. But like I always say, I do have the responsibility to heal from the pain that these experiences has caused me. I always talk about how booking spiritual energy healing sessions changed my life. I constantly received energy healing sessions maybe every single month, and that is how in the first year alone I was able to shift and raise my frequency so high because I paired energy work with consistent weekly therapy and doing the inner work. Spiritual quantum healing sessions cleared so many things for me that therapy alone couldn't do. I am so thankful that both of these were part of my journey. These two things helped me shift my frequency and heal and reclaim my self-love and confidence so fast in such a short amount of time. I literally went from crying every single day and abusing 3 substances a day in October of 2020 to May 2020. I was beginning my 6-month healer training program. It was like in a span of 7 months. And I started to help people all over the world since the summer of 2020. Back to my self-love journey, inner child healing was a really big part of my self-love journey. I had to do a lot of inner child healing to nourish my inner child who felt unsafe, unlovable, and unworthy because of the way my parents didn't love me or show up for me. I remember writing myself a letter to my inner child that was so empowering, so beautiful. I might have to attach it in the screen here. And that was such a powerful letter that deeply healed my inner child. I think you should do that too. By doing inner child healing, I helped my inner child feel safe and loved. I started to give her everything she wanted. And my inner child loves unicorns, softness, teddy bears, pastel colors. So one thing that helps me heal my inner child is remembering what I loved to do as a child. I really enjoyed art and drawing. Bringing more of those activities, doing them as an adult, really helps you reconnect to your inner child and reignite her joy and increase self-love and joy. I started loving myself by realizing that I wasn't the problem. Another huge step I had to take was to discover my new identity, my new self, and who I was behind all the trauma, because for the first 25 years of my life, my whole identity was based on emotional pain, self-hatred, and shame. So in 2021, I started to discover the new me, and I did this by the first step I had to do was to clear and donate all those old things that I owned that didn't resonate with me, all the things that reminded me of my past, all the clothes, all the items I owned. I had to do deep clearing. It took me like 7 months to actually do that. I had a lot of stuff. And then I started to discover the new me by discovering a new style, like a fashion style, and I started to just buy clothes that were more in alignment with who I was, and slowly I cultivated a new style, which was like pastel, unicorn, frequency vibe. Trying out new passions and spiritual interests really helped me on my self-love journey, because I was just doing things that I was curious about and seeing what stuck and what didn't, and just doing more of things that brought me joy really helped me on my self-love journey, like dabbling into oracle decks, buying more crystals, going to sound healing baths. Trying new things and seeing what actually sticks that you would like to keep in your life really helped me on my self-love and happiness journey. Back to releasing self-blame, I shifted from what's wrong with me to I was overwhelmed, people were treating me badly because of their own wounds and reasons that were not my fault. And I'm not broken, I'm healing, and I'm learning to love myself every day. Self-love also came from giving myself loving self-compassion when I was beginning my shadow work and reflecting on how for the past 3 years before 2019, I was actually deeply toxic to the people around me because I was so negative. I didn't want to be here, and that's all I knew what to tell people, and they just didn't know how to react to that, and I was abusing 3 substances a day. I remember the moment I realized that I was a covert narcissist as a result of my trauma and college PTSD. I hated myself so much. I blamed myself so much, but my therapist told me that having this honest self-awareness is great, and it is the first step to doing better, because when I was deeply in pain, I didn't know how to do better. I didn't know better. But now that I know better, I can do better. I can choose differently and to not blame myself too much. So freeing yourself from self-blame and sending the past version of me and yourself loving acceptance, understanding, and forgiveness will also help you release the self-blame and increase your self-love. I had to be very gentle with myself as I began doing the deep inner healing, shadow work, and reflecting on my negative reactions, actions, and behaviors when I was in my deep pain. Learning my love language and showing myself love through words of affirmation, gifts, and quality time really helped me with my self-love. Every time I invested in booking an energy healing session, it was the greatest act of self-love and quantum leaping on my spiritual journey. Self-love came from releasing the self-blame, realizing that I'm not unworthy of love, and realizing the way people treated me was not my fault. Discovering my new style, trying more activities that would light me up, doing more of what brings me joy, nourishing my inner child, and just trying new things out really helps me reclaim my self-love. And also affirmations. My advice for you is to focus on releasing self-blame, shame, realize that you are worthy of love and goodness, commit to taking radical responsibility of your healing journey, commit to your joy, try new things out, discover your new style, and discover who you are behind and beyond the pain if that has been a major part of your identity, which in my case, that was my whole identity. The process of self-discovery is really amazing. I highly suggest you dive into MBTI, your human design, your astrology. That also helped me understand myself on a deeper level, and just understanding yourself also increases self-love because you know who you are. Understanding yourself just gives yourself so much power too. And also deciding who you want to be in the future and taking steps to become that highest, most self-loving version of yourself is also something I want you to consider. I hope that this helps inspire you on your self-love journey. Know that there's nothing that you cannot take your power back from or heal from. If you're interested in working with me, I do have a group healing session and one-on-one sessions and readings. All the information is in the description box below. I'm launching a freebie soon, so stay tuned and follow along. I'm sending you so much love.